Metal Gear Survive, the game that nobody asked for. Ever since its announcement, the game has faced backlash for its mere existence. It's not that the game is mechanically bad. Hell, from what little I tried at E3 2017, it actually plays fine. It's got a potential to be fun, and it's probably not going to be the worst game ever made, especially since it borrows so heavily from Phantom Pain's polished gameplay mechanics. Where all the community ire is coming from is in what Metal Gear Survive represents. This game and the Snake Eater Pachinko foreshadow a future in which the Metal Gear name will not be used to push the boundaries of video games, but rather to push out generic, thoughtless, easy to produce products for the sake of short-term profit. Not to mention that with the Metal Gear community still dealing with the reality that the Metal Gear series as we know it died with Kojima's departure from Konami, the company couldn't have picked a worse time to steer the beloved franchise into such a generic direction. The thought process and intentions behind Metal Gear Survive and the timing of its creation and release only goes to show just how tonally deaf Konami is when it comes to its community. Imagine if Bethesda Game Studios decided to concentrate their efforts on making their next title to be an Elder Scrolls racing game. It might not end up being a bad game, but it's just not what is expected from the franchise or what anyone really asked for. If Bethesda wants to create a racing game that badly, they'd be better off utilizing a franchise in which something like that actually makes sense, or creating a new IP altogether. Survive could have easily been its own thing, but Konami, knowing the value of the Metal Gear name, shoved it into the survival zombie horde shooter, knowing that the game would garner more attention that way, even if it meant sullying the long-standing history, legacy, and memories that the Metal Gear series holds. Now, if you thought that they couldn't mar community goodwill even further than they already have, well, you'd do best to not underestimate Konami on that front. The following information comes from website GameSpot, who recently got a chance to play parts of the game's story and co-op modes during a recent preview event. The first thing that they learned was that the game requires a constant internet connection to play, even for single player. Konami's reason for this was that Survive aims to offer a seamless experience as players move between single player and multiplayer, and to allow them to provide ongoing content post-launch. This is actually old information though, originally detailed on Konami's official website a while back. I'll echo what I said before, I'm not sure why a constant online connection is pivotal for a game that isn't a shared world experience and doesn't do anything special as far as single player and co-op synergy goes. It feels like an unnecessary inconvenience for this particular game, though I did theorize that microtransactions may come into play somehow. Lo and behold, GameSpot has also confirmed that the game will in fact feature microtransactions in the form of a virtual currency called Survive Coins, which can be earned through standard gameplay and also purchased with real money. Prices weren't disclosed, but it's probably safe to expect that Survive Coins will be sold in packages with costs ranging from $5 or $10 to upwards of $100, akin to other games featuring purchasable currency. Now here's a screenshot from GameSpot giving us a glimpse into what the microtransactions items in this game look like. At the bottom left here, it reads, spend Survive Coins to obtain special items and privileges. And listed items include premium boost passes for a varying amount of days, as well as something called Support Defenders. The description for the premium boost pass reads as follows. Grants various benefits, valid for 720 hours. List of effects. Cuban Energy Acquisition Booster plus 2%, Shared Resource Production Booster plus 2%, and Battle Point Acquisition Booster plus 2%. So these microtransactions aren't solely tied to cosmetics, but also grant measurable gameplay advantages by boosting players' resource acquisition rates. Now, I'm not going to go as far as calling this pay to win, nor is it the scummiest form of microtransactions I've seen implemented, yet. But less bad doesn't mean good, and their inclusion still doesn't bode well for a game that's already struggling with PR. It's also worth noting that we don't know to a full extent what other microtransaction schemes the game might feature beyond GameSpot's screenshot of the Survive coin shop. Konami has yet to provide an official statement on the matter, so we'll have to wait until the game releases to really get a full idea of how far this rabbit hole goes. I would like to remind you that during the Star Wars Battlefront 2 review event, unlocking iconic heroes like Luke Skywalker only cost 10,000 credits, but when the game launched, the cost increased to 60,000 credits. We have seen developers offer ideal conditions for preview and review events before changing parameters to their intended predatory state at launch, so I'd be hard-pressed to blindly trust that this screenshot is all there is to survive's microtransactions. Even if it is, keep in mind that part of Konami's intentions with making this game online only is to provide ongoing content post-launch, and I'm willing to bet that part of that involves a constant stream of new microtransactions content throughout the game's lifespan. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if the game introduced loot boxes at one point, considering how in love Konami is with their pachinkos, but the jury's still out on that one. Look, I'm not going to tell you how to spend your money, but if you're one of the few who hasn't been turned off by a game that's ripped the face off of Metal Gear's corpse and worn it as a poorly constructed mask, at least stay on your toes and tread lightly. An always online game with microtransactions sounds to me like one of those games as services that companies like EA like to tout so much. All I'm saying is that you never know how monetization schemes in games like these will evolve over time nowadays. This is also Konami we're dealing with. They haven't exactly been known for their integrity. These are just one man's opinions though. I'd love to hear what you think about all this in the comments below. With that, I would like to end this news update and discussion video. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you found this video informative, and if you enjoy my content, consider supporting me on Patreon to help this channel stay independent and self-sustained, and to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions. Stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.